Two questions arise out of that. The first is you can't help thinking the American justice system itself is being weaponized, not just against Trump, but more broadly as part of American political life. And the second thing that comes out of it is, I've met a lot of very smart Americans, and surely, I mean, all the polling suggests they can see they're being completely misled. They're not convinced by any of this.
No, they're not. And they're looking at whatever one thinks of Donald Trump. If you look at the indictments, they're falling apart as we speak. Jack Smith, now the federal prosecutor, we were told had the strongest case. How is he going to say that Donald Trump put them in an unsecured place when he looks at the Biden garage and the Biden home? How is he going to say that Donald Trump should have notified the archivist he had these when Joe Biden did not? How is he going to say that Trump had no ability to declassify them when he did, and Joe Biden never did until he was president, which was post facto? When you look at Fani Willis, we were told that he made a phone call at me as if I was running against you, John, and I called the register and said, I know I beat John. There has to be 10,000, 12,000 votes. Can you just find them and see if they're there? That's not election. That's a freedom of speech expression. But that prosecutor now, who ran on the platform to indict Donald Trump, has lied under oath and said that she was not romantically involved with a prosecutor that she picked who had never tried a felony, had never tried a criminal case, and was making over double, according to her receipts, of what all the other prosecutors who had tried felonies and had been had criminal experience. And then, of course, there was $650,000 that were billed to him. We know he met with the White House counsel, and we know they went on junkets and they lied about the entire thing. That case is imploding. Alvin Bragg is trying to say that a non-disclosure agreement of an embarrassing tryst, if it did take place, is somehow a campaign violation. Barack Obama in 2012 paid $375,000 for campaign violations, which all were considered a civil matter. And finally, Alvin Bragg is charging Donald Trump with fraud by exaggerating the value of Mar-a-Lago in a way that allowed him to get a loan. The banks that gave him the loans who had much more sophisticated auditors than Alvin Bragg, were very happy with the loans. Donald Trump paid them timely. They made millions of dollars in interest profits. They had no complaint. There was no victim. And people who look at Mar-a-Lago in today's real estate suggest that maybe it had been undervalued. And that's where we are with this legal exposure. And I think it's so weaponized and politicized that I think the American people won't stand for it. And they're already falling apart. The sheer corruption involved with all these blue state, big city indictments with liberal prosecutors and liberal judges and liberal jury pools. And it's a form of lawfare which comes on top of Russian collusion, Russian disinformation, and trying to remove Trump from the ballot, which blew up. It will blow up with the Supreme Court rule.